Coach, maybe opening question will just be a summary of the 90 minutes.
Yeah, obviously, I thought we started the game really well. I thought our sort of plan and structure that we had set out to achieve. I think frustrated Pirates, they weren't able to really play through and Glondlaw or Baloni, as well as keeping players like, Seleng and Masunganya quiet. I think we applied a lot of good pressure, and then on transition, and sometimes the early ball over the top caused them problems. So I thought the first half was really solid, good performance. We probably created far more chances in the first half than we did second half. A couple of little bit of unluckiness in the first half, not to maybe sneak a second goal. But well pleased with the performance going into half time at 1-0. I thought we fully deserved it. Second half, a little bit obviously, the game plan was always to try and stay in the game for as long as possible. We didn't want to be out of the game and it's 30 minutes to go. So 30 minutes to go, we needed a goal to advance. And obviously the players that really expended a lot of energy, people like Devon Titus, Ikram Reyners and Jaden Adams, and then we had to sort of make substitutes with a bit of cramp and injury, try to freshen things up. We lost a little bit of our structure and sort of playing the ball and moving them around in the second half. We are obviously a little bit anxious, the players, I think, playing it a bit forward too early. But in saying that, there were a little bit of a half moment here and a half moment there. But when you do that and you're chasing the game to, get into a final, you leave yourself a bit exposed. So obviously second half, they had some moments where, they transitioned against us and looked a little bit dangerous. But, there was nothing we could lose. Even if they scored, it wouldn't have changed the picture. A second goal for us, then the only thing would have then been a penalty shootout. So, yeah, I can just be proud of what the lads done out there. It's been a tough week for us emotionally, plus from an injury point of view. Players like Fawaz Basadine and Dino van Rooyen, really solid fullbacks for us. Obviously, the loss of Mtetwa, the red card to Toure. So, yeah, a lot of players got an opportunity today to put their hands up. As I said before the game, we started with 6 players that were playing DDC still 2-3 years ago, with Mervyn Boji on the bench, so a very young squad out there, and they can be very proud of what they done today. To take Pirates, to the brink, almost getting into a final, having played them now 3 times, beaten them twice. I think in the end of the day, the difference, obviously, it turned out to be the away goal, which they scored in additional time in Cape Town. To make it 2-1 after playing the majority of the match with 10 men. So, I think we've shown that we can compete with the bigger teams. It's now just really important for us to now refocus on our league campaign now that we haven't made the final. So, yeah, bittersweet. You won the battle today, but you lost the war. So, happy with the performance, very pleased with the performance, proud of the performance, but obviously disappointed that we've come so close again to a final and we haven't got over the line.
Your coach, questions from the floor? Just for the show of hands, put the microphone there. Can we start here? Hello.
Afternoon, Coach from Kalabukhali YFM. Coach, I just want to find out from you, what do you think of the progression of the team with regards to this particular tournament? I mean, last season only got knocked out in the first round against Kaizer Chiefs, but this time around, went all through into the semi-finals. It was just quite unfortunate that you did not progress to the final. But what do you think of the two stints together?
Yeah, I think obviously last year we also again lost on a penalty shootout to make a semi-final, and again we came very close in the Nedbank, losing on penalties in the semi-final, and again really going close in this one. So we are knocking on the door. There has obviously been progression of the squad in terms of our competitiveness. As I said earlier, now we need to refocus on the league campaign. Obviously a very tough away game again on Wednesday against Sundowns. Again, players like Jaden Adams now, I think he's suspended for that game, and Ikram Reyners. So a little bit tough for us right now in terms of personnel and depth. But, again, I allude to the fact that a guy like Sibande and Carl Jurgens, fullbacks today, playing against the Pirates in a semi-final with a big crowd. 3-4 years' time, these experiences that those players are gaining will be really massive. So yeah, there's definitely been progression and competitiveness from our team.
Let's move on to Temba.
Temba Joseph from Sports. Coach, tough luck on the result, on the outcome actually. But you mentioned Mtetwa. Losing a player like that, a key player like that, during the spell of such a big competition, how did it sit with you knowing that you need this player, but the club says we are cashing in somewhere? Are you informed of that, or are you saying to the club, let's hold on to him? Just take us through the transition and conversation.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much on the transfer because I think it has happened and it's done. And unfortunately, there was a bad clause in his contract which was triggered, so there's not much we could do. We always knew all along that if that happens, there's nothing we can do. So yeah, it's a pity the window stays so long open. It's unfair on smaller teams like us where you start the season well, players do well, and then all of a sudden, maybe one or two other teams, they don't start as well or find that they may need something, and then it does make it difficult. So, but again, as I keep saying, we're a club that we don't stall careers, we enhance careers, and we wish him well. And you could see today a player like Sishle Nduli, who's maybe been playing bridesmaid to Tetwa as a footballer, quality footballer himself. The amount of effort he put in, breaking down attacks. Was special to see. So, it's their time now. They need to step up. We can't dwell on that anymore. It's over. And now we need to look forward with the personnel that we have.
Mahlatsi.
Good afternoon, Coach. This is led to me questioning your tactics and stuff, but there's something I've noticed that I don't know if it's by design or is maybe your goalkeeper taking on a feet, in match situations. This new phenomenon of playing from the back, is it something that we really, believe in, you instill in this guy or what? Because I've noticed that most of the times, more than half the times, he hoofs the ball, over and Pirates gains possession and then they attack you again. What's your view on this whole issue of playing from the back and what your goalkeeper keeps on doing all the time?
Yeah, I don't fully understand your question because we do get a good balance of building up when we need to. We also know that Pirates do play a high line, and we have the pace of Titus and Rainers. And if you look at the chances that we created, were from direct balls in behind. So, maybe against another opposition that might not be the tactic. But today, at first half especially, if you look at Titus in behind, if you look at Ikram Rainers in behind. In the worst case scenario, you played over and it goes out, you still have 10 players behind the ball. So I thought first half especially, we also at times built up well and we used the ball wisely. But when you do have young players, Carl Jurgens, he's just graduated from DDC, Sibanda, Tabu, Moloswani and Ati, it's their first game as a combination. It's difficult then to do build up when you haven't really had time with the personnel. We Dino van Rooyen and Fawaz not been available. So we just had to get the balance right of not getting too clever and too cute in our build up and get punished, and then also at the same time, can we be positive, can we turn them, can we get it in behind. So I thought the tactic worked quite well.
Okay, Lorenz, and then final question, Mark.
Coach, obviously the previous seasons you lost some players as well. But it was just business as usual. Other players stepped up. We're not on the training ground, but do you see some positive signs that the players that you have can step up to replace those big figures like Ox, like Junior, and also one of your signings, Segota, has not been starting. Is it a fitness issue? Or what's happening with him?
Yeah, no, look, I am confident. Obviously, as you say, one cannot sit and hide the fact that you've lost some real big personalities and good quality players. That's why people pay good money for them, so they obviously are of the quality. However, it does create opportunity for others. A player like Antonio van Wyk, KG. With KG, he had a very poor pre-season, didn't play really many matches. There's a lot of work to be done with him from a tactical point of view. But he has some special qualities that not many players have, the ability to go past people. He's got a great left foot. So it's now just finding the right time and the right sort of situations to, get him playing again and having that big impact. So it goes without saying that if you do lose players like that, then, you need others to step up and put their hand up and step up. I think a player like Janino Palace for me has been absolutely a great signing for us. His work rate, his quality on the ball. His air really strong. He's got a long foot, so a lot of sort of things you would think he's lost the ball, but he gets a touch. So he's been really, really good for us. But yeah, we're still sort of looking at solutions in the attacking department in terms of the output and numbers that Mendieta gave us. We haven't yet, been able to do that, which we knew would be tough, but it's all a work in progress.
Steve, can I ask you how bad it is for Wednesday? What's the story with Reiners in terms of how long he's going to be out? Can Van Rooyen be back? Will Basile be back? Are you going to register yourself?
Yeah, no, you're quite right, Mark. We are a little bit depleted. Basadine and Van Rooyen unfortunately won't be available. Reiners obviously will have to assess tomorrow, but it doesn't look likely. Obviously, Adam's getting his fourth yellow. So yeah, we are thin. It's just what it is. The big part for us is to be competitive as much as we can against Sundowns, but the following sort of 7 matches to take us into the halfway part of the season is going to be crucial for us. We faced quite a stiff sort of start to the season. Pirates 3 times, SuperSport twice. We've had to play Chiefs as well. So it's been a bit of a tough campaign in the league, and obviously getting the red cards hasn't helped that either. So yeah, Wednesday is going to be a struggle. It'll be tough, but the lads always put up their hand when their backs are to the wall. I'm sure we'll be competitive and put up a big fight against Sundowns. Imagine us coming here to Gauteng and beating Pirates and Sundowns, and it would be quite amazing. But yeah, tough.
Thank you. I'll end it here.